What's up, guys? Steve here with your stimulus package update, and this is a huge week, as Congress only has until this Friday to get done with the government spending bill and tie stimulus pandemic relief to it as well. Now, we did receive word that the bipartisan lawmakers bill, they're going to have the official bill and text ready today, and we actually received confirmation. I have video footage from this morning where they said it's going to be released today. Now, we also, though, have a twist, and that is they said they're going to be taking this bill and they're going to split it into two parts. So I'm going to let you know all the details of what's inside as soon as we receive word. However, we did hear that they are expecting to include that $300 per week unemployment boost. And in addition to that, we also heard that today, the Pfizer vaccine that is supposed to fight the pandemic has been distributed in the U.S. and has been given to the first U.S. citizen. So I'm going to be sharing with you guys all the details of the latest that's been happening as of this morning, Monday, December the 14th. But before we dive in, if you could do me a quick favor, if you like and appreciate these video updates, if you could just take a moment to destroy the like button, I would appreciate it. It helps out the channel. Like button, leaving comments, and sharing these videos out to anybody who you think might need to see them. It helps out the channel. Thank you so much. And also, if you're not already a part of the viewing community, why not be sure to smash the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell, so that way as soon as I upload videos, you can be notified right away. And if you don't already, be sure to follow me on Instagram as well at SteveRam3. I do my best to get to all the questions in the comments down below, but there's so many, I know I missed a lot of them. If you have a very specific question, be sure to reach out to me on Instagram. But now let's go ahead and look at the latest with stimulus. All right, so first up, as I mentioned, today we received confirmation that the bipartisan lawmakers bill, that $908 billion stimulus package proposal, is going to be made an official bill and released today. So let's take a look at the video footage that came out, link in the description below, and it's in an article that reads, "Bipartisan Group to Release Pandemic Relief Bill as Congress Faces Pressure to Send Help." So let's take a look at what they had to say.
I feel like a little bit of a broken record here saying we are working on a relief bill that both sides can compromise on. Congressman Gottheimer, where do we stand right now?
Well, Becky, good news. I know you thought we wouldn't get there, but we're going to introduce legislation today. Again, this is the package we've been talking about, $908 billion combined COVID relief emergency package to really address the major needs over the next few months and what are obviously clearly the toughest times right now from the pandemics, from what we're facing the pandemic, and obviously to get us into the next administration. It covers the major pillars we've been talking about, everything from unemployment, helping families, to small businesses, to vaccine deployment, which is obviously critically important right now, to food security and assistance, to helping those families on food lines for the first time, and really to get us through the toughest time. It's bipartisan, bicameral in the Senate and the House, and we'll be doing that later today.
Didn't mention checks.
Congressman Reed, when you all say you're introducing this legislation, does that mean it will get a vote on the House floor and on the Senate floor?
Well, that's what we'll have to continue to work for. But what we're showing here with this combined bill of $908 billion, most importantly, is that there's Republican and Democrats that can work out the issues of liability protection that is greatly needed in regards to this emergency situation, and the issue of state and local aid. And that has been the sticky wicket, if you would, that we had to get to the finish line. Now, obviously, there's going to be some disagreement. I believe today you'll see that they're splitting these bills in the Senate. But working with a guy like Josh Gottheimer on the Democratic side, and the Problem Solvers Caucus members themselves, who are sincere, good faith members, I think we found a way to bring that together and hopefully talk to our House colleagues. We'll show we can figure out the final issues on liability in state and local, and also add that so that we get a whole $908 billion deal put together.
You can see phase 3 is where they had the
Congressman
first stimulus
Gottheimer,
checks.
it sounds like you all can put together a bill that you can find plenty of Democrats and Republicans to agree with. I'd ask, A, how many of those, and how come your leaders can't seem to do the same?
Well, as you know, in the Problem Solvers Caucus, there's 50 of us, 25 Democrats and 25 Republicans in the House. We've been working with a phenomenal group of bipartisan in the Senate. There's definitely momentum here, and I believe we've been in regular touch with leadership on both sides, and we're really hopeful this will be the package that will be part of the final agreement that we have to vote on this week. You know, it looks like we're going home at the end of this week. People can't wait anymore. We've lost 1 out of every 500 residents in New Jersey to COVID. We're 6,000 new cases a day. 30% of small businesses have already gone out. we've got to help people. And I think the pressure is on, as you've said, Becky, not just in Washington, but everyone's feeling it at home. And we've got to get this done. You look at our state and local governments, they're critically important. They're on the front lines now of getting this vaccine out. Now is not the time to leave them in the lurch. So this has to get done. We really have no choice. And I think our leadership recognizes that.
Has to get done.
Congressman Reed, what kind of odds would you give this as something that will be done by the end of this week?
Well, I'll tell you, we have to. We've had over 30 plus Republican members sign on a letter that we worked with them on to say we're not leaving until we get COVID relief done. We have other measures that have to pass, the funding of the government, other issues that have to be resolved. And so this is kind of the final legislative vehicle before we go into the next year of the next Congress. So there's a multitude of issues that have to be resolved. And this is a prime opportunity to show the American people that we can govern again. And guys like us in the Problem Solvers Caucus with Josh and myself and the 50 members are just true patriots that want to put America first. We can compromise on liability and state and local, and then all the other additional relief that Josh has already articulated and laid out that the American people need today. Now's the time to respond and listen to the American people and get it done. That's what our job is to do. And now the leadership is in a position. We showed the path, finish it off, get it to the finish line. We laid the groundwork for you to get it done.
Well, there you have it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And as soon as they release that official bill, I'll be sure to try to hop on the channel here and let you guys know what's included. Now, as I mentioned, they are going to be splitting this into 2 parts to make it more likely to pass. Link in the description below to this article that reads, bipartisan group to offer 2-part pandemic relief package. Dividing the measure could make it more likely that at least some of it will pass. A bipartisan group of senators is expected to introduce the $908 billion pandemic relief bill as soon as Monday, with a twist. The deal is expected to be split into 2 pieces, according to 2 people familiar with the negotiations. One would be a $748 billion piece with pandemic relief with less controversial items like schools and healthcare. The other would marry $160 billion in money for local governments and a temporary liability shield. And as I mentioned to you guys, these are by far the 2 most controversial items in the stimulus. Those 2 components have been the toughest part of the negotiations so far, and Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell has suggested dropping them and concentrating on less divisive areas. McConnell had long called liability shields for pandemic legislation his red line, while congressional Democrats say the money for states and cities is their top priority. Some Republicans from states with hard-hit budgets like Senator Bill Cassidy are also pushing for local aid, but many conservatives don't want to send money to states. Splitting the bill could make it more likely that the relief package can be finalized before Congress leaves for the holidays, something deemed essential with 12 million Americans set to lose unemployment benefits in the coming weeks. No pandemic relief legislation has been enacted since the spring, even though the pandemic continues to exact a staggering toll in lives, hospitalizations, and economic distress. So it looks like hopefully they're going to be releasing that official bill today, and they're going to be releasing it in the 2 parts, one with controversial items and less controversial items, in hopes that they'll be able to pass something. Now, in the video that I released to you guys yesterday, I broke down a chart that I created showing you side by side the 2 different bills. Now, just to clarify, this is the 908 bipartisan lawmakers bill that's going to be including that $300 per week unemployment boost. This is the one they're going to be splitting, and you can see here in orange the controversial items in there, and there's the state and local government and the liability protection. So as soon as that rolls out, I'll be sure to let you guys know. But in addition to that, we received word that today the vaccine was released. Link in the description below to the article that reads, Pandemic D-Day, ICU nurse in New York among the first in the country to receive vaccination. With the prick of a needle, the battle against the pandemic took what could be a decisive turn Monday as the first federally approved pandemic vaccine was injected into an American arm. Sandra Lindsay, an ICU nurse who has been on the front lines of the battle against a virus that's killed almost 300,000 people in the United States alone, joined in the applause moments after the first dose was injected into her left arm. I feel hopeful today, relieved, Lindsay, who worked at the Long Island Jewish Medical Center in New York City borough of Queens, said after the historic moment was live streamed by New York Governor Andrew Cuomo. I feel the healing is coming. I hope this marks the beginning of the end of the very painful time in our history. Well, you guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Could this potentially be the beginning of the end with this vaccine? Also, I'll be sure to let you guys know as stimulus rolls out. And once again, if you like and appreciate these video updates and you haven't already, be sure to smash the like button button. It helps out the channel. I would appreciate it. Thank you so much. And also, if you're not already part of the viewing community and you want to stay up to date on everything that's rolling out, be sure to smash the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that way as soon as I upload, you can be notified. And also, if you don't already, be sure to follow me on Instagram at SteveRam3. Well, you guys, I hope this reaches you well. Have a blessed Monday. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.